Hey everyone, Real with Wes. Welcome to Wednesday, day 3. Talking about this week, kind of giving this question, when it's not enough. And it's like, what do we do and where do we go through? Now, of course, on Wednesdays, I always remind you, man, go back and listen to this morning's message. Pastor Taffi had an awesome message. It'll be a challenging message, but it was so wonderfully put. I'm going back and listening to it again myself just to get the richness of it. But it's along the lines of making room for God. Powerful way. And then, of course, tonight you got Dr. Dollar, 7 p.m. Don't miss that either. So getting into this, what we're talking about today, what happens when it's not enough in our day-to-day relationships? What happens when we fall short with people in our relationships? It really is to get us to get out of certain mindsets. The reason I'm dealing with this week, because if we get lost in these certain mindsets we're talking about, we miss what we really are obligated for and responsible. We give our attention to the wrong things in life. You're always going to at some point fall short in your relationships. Wow, that sounds like defeat. It sounds like you're setting yourself for failure, bad expectations. No, it's to get you off the system of fake perfection that cannot be achieved, and just get you on focus of reality. Romans 12:3, it talks about being sober-minded, not overestimating yourself. To really say, I can be perfect, hear this for a moment, if I can be perfect in all my relationships and arrive, is arrogance actually at its best. It is arrogance to say, well, I've made it in my relationship. I've arrived in my relationship. And some days, you fall short. You're tired. Maybe you don't feel good one day. Maybe you just misplan. Maybe just human error. So what do you do in that moment? First of all, you don't try to hide it. Because when you're shooting for perfection, a lot of times you cover it up. Man, be accountable for your mistakes. Own your mistakes. Not in a punishment sense, not in a condemnation sense, but a responsibility to say something maybe as simple as, I'm sorry, I missed it. And acknowledge you're wrong for a moment. What does it do? That reminds you, in one regard, to be humble. To be humble, and when you're in that place of humility that you recognize you fall short, it makes you empathetic towards others. It makes you empathetic towards the other people in a relationship when they're falling short. And it reminds you all need God, you all need Jesus, you all need this grace, and you all need mercy. And that we all could experience a good dose of that daily is what we can do. And then what it reminds us, there's always room to grow. Because let me tell you, when you think you got it all together perfect, all of a sudden you think you don't need to learn anything. Now, this is where pride comes in. You think you've arrived, you think or that you can arrive on some distance, and you stop actually growing. You stop actually seeing the need to flourish. You know, when we fall short and when it's not enough, it reminds us real quick, guess I got another opportunity to grow. I got another opportunity to do better. There's still work that needs to be done, and allowing the Spirit of God to work in me. But when we arrive at this thing and we get caught in this, when it's not enough, the perfectionist side, we either become arrogant or we also start beating ourselves up. And you get stressed out, and you feel clustered. I know I've dealt with this many, many of times in my life where it's like, man, I didn't arrive there as a dad. I didn't arrive as a husband. I didn't arrive there as a pastor. And you know, you can get caught in that downward spiral. I've been mentioning it this week of where the enemy will put you in condemnation, where the enemy will beat you up, where the enemy will cause fear on the inside of you. And that fear locks you in. And now you're no longer making decisions that you need to make, healthy ones, which is, you know, God, how do I improve from this? Or you make an amends with a person. You start making fear-based decisions. And you'll either cover up your things, your issues, you'll deflect, you'll do all these different things. You'll go into hyper work perfection mode. And none of that's being led by the Spirit of God. It's actually being led by your fear. The fear of falling short, the fear of not reaching perfection, the fear. And God's like, life isn't about that. Living on this earth that doesn't matter. It's not relevant to anything. What's relevant is, can you stay in this place of humility to know you need God every day? Can you stay in this place of humility and soberness to realize you are going to fall short at times? And when instead of beating yourself up at that, you can forgive it, you can acknowledge it, you can make amends for it with a good apology, and then you can learn from it and grow from it and keep moving forward and maturing in life. That's what happens when you hit that thing, man, is it enough? And then the rest of it you have to trust God with. Because also when you start making it, is it enough about me? Then you start putting the weight on, you start making it, well, it's about me, it's about my actions. And it's no longer about, well, God being God. the other part of that pride starts turning into, well, I can be enough in myself. And then you get in that self-effort instead of realizing, no, whether my decisions are 100% good or bad, God's greater than that. God's greater than my bad decisions. I am not so all-powerful, so infinite that I can make one bad decision, that I can fall short, that I can be a little stupid some days or have a bad moment or make a wrong, that it unravels the universe and it's greater. My bad behavior or my perfect behavior is greater than God. No, that's not how life works. You have to remember, man, I do this trusting in God, faults and all, mistakes and all, all the relationships. I have to say, I'm going to believe God that I am enough. He's made me enough. In the areas I fall short, His grace is more than enough. Paul talked about this. He hit this liberating space over in the Church of Philippians. I realized I can talk to God about my weaknesses and admit my weaknesses, because when I admit my weaknesses, His grace is sufficient in that moment. Where I am weak, He is strong. I may not have it all figured out, but this one thing I know, forget the things behind, keep pursuing ahead, keep growing. That's what life is all about. So when it comes to your relationships, when you fall short and not enough, yeah, own it. Yeah, make amends. Yeah, apologize for it. But forgive yourself, move on, allow it to keep you humble, allow it to keep you empathetic towards other people, and extend the same mercy that you want to see for your life that you're receiving from God. Pay it forward to others, and then learn from it with the wisdom of God and keep pursuing better. That's what life is. And stay out of that psychological thing of condemnation, of guilt. Live free of it. Don't focus on that. The focus in life, God is not asking for our perfection. He's asking for us to mature and to grow and just to pursue Him and know how much more we need Him. That's true maturity. All right, guys, that's all I got, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Later.